Hello and welcome at SPL. My name is Hermann Gier. I'm one of the co-founders here at SPL, and I'd like to introduce the Professional Fidelity product series that we just recently introduced in the spring of 1916. And now we're in June, and this month we're gonna put the first products out to the market. And I'd like to give you a bit of an insight on how we came to develop these kind of products and what it means to SPL, and a little bit details what you can expect from them. So it all started at the time when we developed the Phonatory headphone amplifier back in 2008. This was a headphone amplifier built with our 120 volt rail technology. Exceptionally good sounding, no hearing fatigue, so that was really nice. But what we introduced was a matrix that allowed to compensate for the interaural level and time differences that occur when you listen through headphones. The super stereo effect that you have on headphones is just not what is the real way of listening through speakers. So it was an exaggerated stereo field. The stereo placement is wrong. The tonal balance is not correct. And we developed this matrix that created a speaker-like playback on headphones, and it was designed to allow mix engineers to be able to truly mix on headphones, and that mix later translates onto speakers. That became a huge success for SPL. What we didn't expect at the time was that this headphone amplifier found lots of friends in the hi-fi world. And people realized that, hey, now I can listen to records the way they were actually meant to be heard to like through speakers. Even if I put my headphones on, it sounds like it comes from speakers. And that's the way the music was intentionally produced for. When we learned about the acknowledgement that we received in the hi-fi world, we were thinking about, this is an interesting market, and maybe there is an interest for more products in that direction, maybe more models on Phonatory, maybe even up to a power amplifier in 120 volt rail. So we then started to develop products, but we were hesitant to put a finished product to the market because we realized that to bring the full advantage of the 120 volt rail to the people, what we wanted to do is that we want to have the chain, the entire reproduction chain from the DAC or the phono preamp stage down to the speaker input, all in 120 volt rail. So we waited and we produced and developed all of the products that we wanted to start with. That is essentially, obviously, the Phonatory X and the Phonatory E. Phonatory E is a smaller model of the Phonatory X. Phonatory X over here, which looks pretty much identical to the Phonatory 2. It has different feature sets. I will explain a bit more about that later. And then a DAC with a preamplifier. A DAC that is capable of 384K sample rate or DSD2. A phono preamp stage, which we have here. This is the DAC, this is the phono preamp stage. Down to a power amplifier, which we have over here. So you might wonder about all the three colors. Well, all of these products are available in three colors. So we have red, silver, and black to choose from. Let's talk about the Phonatory in the first place, the Phonatory X. X because that's the matrix included. The matrix has a crossfeed and a speaker angle parameter. Speaker angle, there you set the angle in which you place your speakers. let's say 30 degrees, you take it 0 degrees is to the front and then 30 degrees to the left, or you can go 40 degrees, 55 degrees, or even 22 degrees if you have a narrower speaker placement. This actually corresponds to setting the interaural, or to compensate for the interaural time difference. The interaural level difference is being handled by the crossfeed control, and there you have 6 different values to choose from. Now, the way you tune that is you listen to the preferred song on speakers. You memorize where each position, each instrument is positioned. You put on the headphones and you try to exactly place, or you choose settings where you hear instruments and vocals being positioned in exactly the same space. Once you did that, you're pretty much there. We also have introduced a balanced headphone output on the Phonatory X and the Phonatory E. This is over here. And a standard headphone output here. So the balanced headphone output is very popular in the hi-fi world. So we thought this is worth integrating. It is basically, it has 2 power amplifiers, and it gives even more output power, and maybe it has a bit tighter bass response compared to the standard jack output. Furthermore, the next step was developing a DAC, and when we looked at DAC and we thought, okay, what can we do that is different with DACs? We're analog people and a DAC is the digital domain, so what can we bring to the table? And when we looked at it, it was actually pretty obvious that we obviously only looked at the analog side first, and from other designs that are successful in the market. But because you immediately realized that the voltage they were using on the analog side is pretty much the same voltage that they use on the digital side. So if your digital I/O core runs on 5 volt, you get a plus and minus 2.5 volt for the current voltage translator and the low pass filter. That is usually a part that is being done in the analog domain. So once your analog signal comes out of the DAC chip, it enters these 2 analog stages. And we thought, hey, what if we replace this by plus minus 60 volt? What would happen? And we didn't know. So I think, okay, maybe that's exactly the approach where we can go in. We did that, and we were surprised by what this actually meant for the DAC. It was just like so real and honest in a way. You just expect music to be heard like that. It was not like, oh, it has a color that is more warm, or this has a bit more edge, this has a bit more detail there, a bit more room over here. All of these words were never, anybody who heard it used these words. They were just saying, wow, that's real. And maybe, yeah, you probably have to hear it, but it is a cool sounding DAC. It gives a different attitude towards listening to DACs, and yeah, we are happy with the way this comes out. So we said, okay, we're going to have USB on there, we're going to have AES input on there, we're going to have coax and optical input on there. We even put 2 analog inputs in there. So this is a full-blown preamplifier. It has motorized volume control, so you can remote control this. By the way, the Phonatory X has motorized volume control as well. And also the source selection on the DAC can be remotely controlled. But we don't deliver the remote. What we do is these products learn any remote. It's not that you need a learning remote control. No, you can take any remote you have. Maybe the slick little Apple one, or you have a bigger one that you use and there are some knobs you hardly use. So you can assign these knobs to trigger functions here. Pretty slick, actually. The next product is the Phonos, which is a preamp for record players. And we have decided to take the RIA format, which has been used since 1954 on almost all records. The specialty here is that we have chosen a so-called Douglas Self design. It's a professor from MIT, I guess. He was, and in the 70s he made proposals on how to improve preamplifiers for phono stages. And his idea was, in order to make to get a faster transient response, choose smaller cap values, capacitive values, instead of one big one. Take this into multiple smaller capacitors. And we've taken on this design in the Phonos. It's more expensive and you need very esoteric values. We luckily found a company that produces them in a Styroflex fashion, which is gorgeously sounding, very silky, precise, contoured top end, extremely nice. So we put that into the Phonos. It can handle MC as well as MM cartridges. You have 6 capacitance to choose from. You got 4 resistance to choose from. Capacitance for MM, resistance for the MC. Next product I want to talk about is our power amplifier, the Proformer. Now this is not a Class D amplifier. You might think it would be because it has such a small footprint. It is not. It is actually seriously heavy, about 28 pounds or something. And it has a toroidal transformer. It has it's a bipolar transistor design. The nice thing here on the 120 volt rail is that we only need one single op amp to immediately drive the power transistors. That saves a lot of electronics, and sometimes less is more. Probably in that case it really is more. The power that we can generate here is on 8 ohms it's 185 watts 2 times, and on 4 ohms it's 285 watts, and you can also use this in a bridge mode, and in bridge mode it's got 450 watts on 4 or 8 ohms. It doesn't matter in that respect. Yes, that's our nice line of professional fidelity products. Yes, exactly, professional fidelity. It's not high fidelity, it's professional fidelity. It's not high end. And the reason we created that name is actually, yes, we are not doing real hi-fi. We're doing transition products, products that bridge between professional audio and hi-fi. So professional fidelity or profile. And yes, I think this is a niche in the market where you can expect extremely high quality audio products that can also be used at home, but also be used in mastering studios. Nice footprint, smaller footprint than the big high-end stuff, and also not that pricey as high-end stuff. So yeah, that's from my side. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can stand my talking. And I hope to welcome you one day in the future. Okay, bye-bye.